Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Maze Runner, Chapter 7. In this chapter, it starts with Albie taking Thomas on a tour, and the first place they stop is the box. Oh, it should be noted that Thomas is not allowed to ask any questions during this tour. And if he asks one question, Albie said that he'll punch him in the face or he'll throw him off a cliff or something. It won't be good. And so Thomas in this whole chapter is like, he wants to say something, but he doesn't. Well, the first spot is the box. And I believe the box is in the middle, but that's the elevator that Thomas first came up in. That's called the box. And when it opens, there's usually food in there, maybe some seeds or animals, and oftentimes a newbie. So, and that happens once a month, maybe less. I can't remember exactly, but certainly not more than once a month. After they look at the box, Albie's like, look, there's the gardens, there's the blood house, there's the homestead, and there's the deadheads. He takes him to each part and he says, here are the gardens, of course. This is where we raise food, corn, fruit, things like that. This area over here is the blood house. This is where the animals are raised, but where they're also slaughtered to make us meat. Here's the homestead. That's where we all sleep, but really everyone just sleeps outside. And then in the corner, there's a forest, kind of. And it looks like really dark and thick. And he said, out there is where the cemetery is. That's where we bury the dead people. And he says, you can go there whenever you want. There's nothing important there, just dead people. And then he shares that, not number one rule yet, that for the next 2 weeks, Thomas's job will be to go to each of these places and do that job. And so one day he'll go to gardens, one day he'll go to the blood house, one day he'll go to homestead, one day he'll go to deadhead. Oh, probably not deadheads. But then he'll rotate again. And so they'll try to see which job he's the best at. And then that will be his job. Well, they walk to the south, and as they're walking, Thomas is just thinking. He's trying to think, why is there a graveyard when there's a bunch of teenagers? Why does the elevator only come once a month? What are those shiny little bugs or blinking lights that I keep seeing? And he's just thinking of all these different questions, and he's trying not to ask any of them. Finally, they get over to the wall, and Thomas doesn't even realize that they walked that far. And he sees the wall, and Albie's like, out there is the maze. And then he starts giving a lot of information. I've been here for 2 years. We haven't solved this maze. At night, the walls move, and so we can't solve it. And people have died, and I'm the oldest person here. And Thomas is like, what? And he's just thinking about all of this stuff. 2 years. They haven't solved the maze. And people have died. And then he starts to think about the grievers, and he gets scared. He kind of backs up a little bit. But then he's like, no, come on. It's okay. He feels a little bit embarrassed because he got scared. Now, he tries to go out into the maze a little bit because as Albie is talking, he feels like, oh man, I need to go out here. I need to see what's going on. I need answers. And they are out here. He just feels something. He wants to go. And so he starts to move forward just to look at it. And Albie just pushes him in the chest and says, whoa. You are not going out there. The number one rule is no one goes out there. Only runners. And if you go out there, one, you'll probably die because of the grievers will kill you or other things. I have no idea. Two, if you don't die and you come back, we will kill you because this is the number one rule you have to follow. And Thomas is like, whoa, I don't know if I believe you, but okay, that's pretty serious. As Albie's sharing this, suddenly there's a big, I don't know, some sound. That's a huge alarm. And Thomas is like, but Albie's like, huh? So Thomas kind of calms down, seeing that Albie isn't freaking out or afraid. Thomas calms down. He's like, okay, what's going on? And then Albie starts walking towards the box. And Albie just keeps going, and he's not answering any questions or listening to Thomas at all. But Thomas sees Newt. He says, Newt, what's going on? And Newt's kind of excited, a little anxious. He's not scared or nervous, but he's just like, oh man, what's going on? And we learn that there's a new newbie coming. And this has never happened. There has never been two newbies in the same month, and there's never been two newbies the day after the other one. And so this is really big news, and it's really exciting for everyone. Maybe a little bit scary too. And that's how the chapter ends. Well, vocabulary. I didn't find too many difficult vocabulary words in this chapter. Maybe you found some other ones, and you can write them in your comments and let me know, and we can talk about them later. But the first one I had is bracket. A bracket is something that you kind of screw in, and then you can put something else in there to hold it. So if you look here in the picture, there's two huge walls, and they're not really brackets, okay? These don't function as brackets. But what they kind of do is frame the wall. It almost looks like they're kind of holding it in position. I'm trying to think here. I could have got a picture. I'm sorry I didn't think about it. Bracket. Well, maybe these glasses could work. You know what? We will use technology. Let me draw a bracket. So here's a wall, okay? Now on this wall, maybe I want to have a shelf, okay? I cannot just put a piece of wood here. If I did, the wood would just fall down. What I need is a bracket. And so with a screwdriver, I make this kind of thing here, and it's held on this side, and then I make another one over here, and then I have a screw on this side. Then the wood can rest on that part. That is called a bracket. All right, there's many different kinds of brackets. On your door, there's probably brackets on the side of your door that connect your door to the wall. There's many different things, many different shapes that they could be, but they're used to hold things up or to frame things. And that is what they see here. The next vocabulary word is exaggerating. You might already know this word, but it just means to make something bigger than it is. Now, oftentimes, you might say to your mother or your father, "You never let me do anything fun." Is that true? Probably not. Probably your parents let you do a lot of fun things. But we exaggerate. "You never let me do anything fun." Or maybe you exaggerate about when you're telling a story, right? I caught a fish this big. Exaggerating. But then the fish got away, so I can't show it to you. Discussion question. How do you think someone becomes a runner? Right? This is the idea that Thomas is kind of thinking about, that's in his head. Because he wants to go out there. He doesn't want to work in the gardens. He doesn't want to be a butcher. He doesn't want to... maybe those are just the only two jobs. I have no idea. But he doesn't want to do those. There's something, he wants to go out into the maze. But Albie doesn't give that as an option. He doesn't ask Thomas, "Oh, and one day we'll take you out into the maze, and if you like it, you can be a maze runner." there's no opening to be a maze runner. How do you think one becomes a runner? What do you have to do? Right? We'll find out later, I'm sure. But before we find out, what do you think? And then, of course, please write your own discussion question. Oh, there's so many you can ask. I have one right now I almost said, but I don't want to take it away from you. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.